Too late.
Too late.
Too late, friends.
Oh, she made herself a kitten. Okay. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome to our live stream today. And, oh, I excuse me for a moment.
Not the bald ass damn head.
No, that's why I said hold on, but he moved a bit too quick for me.
I thought he was gonna do
You're gonna play yourself. You're gonna regret that one.
Well, if it's not the consequences of my own actions.
Well. If it's not, oh well. There we go.
There we go.
What do we got on
fast?
What do we have on?
IBM.
Clever.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking IBS. I was like, wow, is that what we're talking about tonight? Like
the IBS girly representation.
So I did briefly work with IBM. I don't know if I've told this story before. You know, I'm an old dad, so I tell the same stories over and over. Stop me if you've heard this one. But I worked at IBM briefly in the 90s. They had this was in their Austin offices, and I was there as a consultant. And they were running a pilot program at the time, which allowed their engineers and technical staff to not wear suits and ties. So up until that time, it was regulation that every male who worked at, they had strict dress codes for women too, I'm sure, but the men had to wear dark suits, either black, charcoal, or navy, and white shirts or slightly bluish. They were allowed to wear slightly bluish shirts and conservative ties. No crazy ass ties. And so it was, it was very regimented. And I had always just, not been interested in that kind of work environment. But when they were hiring people to work on, they had an operating system called OS2, which was supposed to compete with Microsoft's MS-DOS. And it had many advantages. It was multi-user, multitasking, advanced for the time. And eventually Microsoft bought in and became like a co-owner of it. And eventually that became the basis of Windows NT, which is the basis of all the Windows that came after it. So code from Microsoft, from IBM's OS2 exists today in Microsoft Windows. But my tasks on the team were very low level, because I do low level systems work. And I was writing drivers for tape backup systems, which was hysterical.
Why does I also feel like pocket protectors were a part of the
tasks on the team.
Pocket what, girl?
Pocket protectors?
Not pocket protectors so much, but definitely slide rules.
Okay. We love that.
Actually, I'm not sure. I've used a slide rule since the late 70s. During the 70s, I used slide rules a lot. But once I got my first scientific electronic calculator, I don't think my slide rules saw the light of day, and I wouldn't even know where to find them today. I know I've got a couple somewhere.
They're probably going for hundreds of dollars on eBay or something. They are now an antique.
That would be an interesting thing to find out. All right, just a second here.
Where has he gone?
Probably to Neverland.
Does it not show Payme when I go away?
Absolutely does.
It does on our end. It does not on the live stream.
It does.
Sad day.
I know, sadness.
That's no fair at all.
Life's not fair.
I mean, I go out of my way to have like the coolest avatar possible, and they won't even show it.
Copyright infringement.
So our subject for today, RiKitty, did you announce our subject?
I titled it a recap on recording week because it sounds kind of catchy to me. I like it.
Yeah. So Kurstin is back at Hufflepuff.
She's back in Kitty City, baby.
Kitty City.
Kitty City.
And what did they call the school where the sorcerers were in Harry Potter?
Hogwarts.
Hogwarts, yeah.
There you go. So Kurstin is back at Hogwarts, as you can tell by her name, Hufflepuff. And but she was here for a week, and we recorded I don't know, about 8 episodes for upcoming podcasts. How far are we through the first batch, RiKitty?
Editing or released?
Well, I don't know that we've released one in a while.
Yeah, we're actually releasing one this week, so keep an eye out. It'll be available by tomorrow. It'll be uploaded and ready everywhere.
Can you please send me a couple of titles so I can make some title cards so that you can, for the editing, you can put the title of the episode in it?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we do that.
Definitely. I already have the one for the title card for the episode coming out tomorrow.
Oh, you already have it?
Title card for the next one.
Okay, so I can do that after I get back. Speaking of which, I'm going to be gone for a few days, so I'm going to miss. Yeah, I'm going to miss our live broadcast on Wednesday. So we won't have one on Wednesday, but we'll be back on Friday, same time, same station. But in the meantime, we want to talk, and I'm just going to bring up my notes. We want to talk about what we did this week. We recorded a number of episodes. I believe the total was 8. Did we record 8 episodes this week?
Yes, CerritosAutosquare.com.
So let's see here. Yeah, we had done that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So the first of those, and how far are we in the other batch? What's the next one coming up?
Next one's 3. Then I'll put out 4 at the beginning of next week.
Okay,
or I could even put it out as a double feature. Who knows? We'll see.
We're kind of behind. Yeah. Okay. So so there, after that, there'll be 3 left in the previous batch, and then we'll start in the new batch. And the new batch has our new studio. Well, it's the same studio, but we've updated it some. We updated the set to just make it work a little better. We experimented on the first couple episodes of the new batch. We experimented with a new camera, which may not have worked as well as we expected. So we went back to the old cameras, but with new lenses. And that actually worked really, really great. So, we've been working out the kinks, but I think we got them mostly worked out, which means that we can now throw all this away and start over.
No, thank you.
We have a comment.
Yes.
From MaximilianK.H. And he says, thank goodness we don't have to do that anymore. And I believe he was referring to the dress code at IBM.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Does he work at IBM?
No, he just said, thank goodness, it's not a thing anymore,
It used to be a thing everywhere. I missed it most. I don't know. When I did some consulting with banks in the 80s, and I pretty much had to wear suit and tie for those. When I worked with a NASA subcontractor when I was a teenager, nobody wore a tie. Nobody wore a suit and tie. But that was kind of a skunkworks kind of a thing. I don't know if you know what that means. But that was.
I don't know anything ever. Tell me what it means.
So skunkworks. Let me see if I can find an official definition.
It also sounded like stunt work. So I was thinking maybe you were a body double.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah, doing that parkour off of buildings and shit.
Or like Tom Cruise or something.
Skunkworks is usually
John Wick.
Skunkworks is usually like a small team of engineers who are working on something very, very cutting edge and who are given permission to just throw shit at the wall and experiment and, come up with something absolutely brilliant. And That's very much what the whole Voyager mission was like. And
Skunk sounds like kind of derogatory though, does it not?
it's not. Every engineer will give their eye teeth to work on a skunkworks project. It means that you're going to have lots of fun, and you can be as creative as you want to be, and nobody will tell you you're wrong.
So where's the etymology of that word come from then?
I don't know. I'm going to try and find this.
I
Is
mean,
it because like you were wearing suits and ties and black and white skunk stripes? Or is it because like that work stinks? Or is it because you would stink from not showering for like however long you're working on that project? There's layers to this.
So here we go from Oxford Languages. Skunkworks, an experimental laboratory or department of a company or institution, typically smaller than and independent of its main research division. So let's see, origin, 1960s, originally used in reference to research laboratories of aerospace company Lockheed Martin.
Oh.
And allegedly in association with the Skunkworks, an illegal still in the Lil Abner comic strip. That makes sense. So in the Lil Abner comic strips, they had an illegal still where they made moonshine, and they called it Skunkworks. And so this is probably where the term comes from. And that makes sense. That's the kind of thing that engineers would pick up on and want to use to their advantage.
That's skunk, SKONK.
Right.
And then the term that y'all use is skunk.
Right, like the stinky rodent. Yeah. So anyway, that we've gotten off the subject here a little bit. So of these 8, should I just read the 8 titles? And
Spoiler alert, do it.
2, 3, 4.
Spoiler alert.
7,
Spoiler
8.
alert.
So the 8 titles I have, and the titles may change when we publish them. The first one was What Poker Teaches Us About Life. And I actually made a poker post today on LinkedIn. I was out playing poker, which I haven't done a lot of lately. It's one of the reasons I moved to Vegas, was so that I could play live poker, because I love playing live poker. But I found a poker room that's kind of spacious, has a lot of space between the seats, and I feel a little more safe in. And I'm going to go get another booster tomorrow. But in any event, so What Poker Teaches Us About Life. The second one is, I just titled it Education. It's about
Edumacation.
It's about education in the United States. And
The US
It's about the R's, right, Kurstin? The 3 R's?
Yeah.
the 3
You got your reading,
you're reading, writing,
and your arithmetic.
arithmetic.
That's all you need to know, baby.
Well, I done graduated the 6th grade, and I know my Timeses and my Gazintas.
3
So
goes into 9.
hilariously enough,
I'm not going to ask. You have to ask the question.
The gazintas.
I know my Timeses and my Gazintas.
what's
Yeah,
Gazinta?
3 goes into 9 3 times.
Exactly. 3 goes into 12 4 times. My Gazintas.
So
Yeah.
hilariously enough, the first time that you said I graduated the 6th grade,
I done graduated the 6th grade.
I just laughed because I thought we were vibing, doing like the hillbilly, bit. And it wasn't until like we sat down to do one of our very first podcasts that you were like, no, I straight up, I quit. I quit school in the 6th grade after the 6th grade. And I was like, put 2 and 2 together.
Actually, I was thrown out.
Oh, well, potato.
And then I was busted for being truant. I mean, please explain that to me.
Please explain.
But yeah, so my thoughts on the education system, which does not, in my view, she's making faces again. which does not, in my view, fulfill the primary mission of the education of what an education system should do, which is educate. And then we have, the future of AI. And we talked about Eliza. And when you edit that one, Ricky, maybe what we can do is demonstrate Eliza, like on the screen.
That would be so good. Oh, you know what we still have to do too is we still have to have you. I'm sorry. I was thinking you said AI. I was thinking about the country song.
This is what it looks like when a kitty avatar tries to laugh but doesn't have any arms or very much.
No, do you remember your country song?
Yeah, I know. It's still on my list.
It has to get written.
It will be. It's still on my list. It'll probably be a little while, but I will get to it.
I cannot wait to hear that. That's gonna be so good. But yeah, I really liked the AI episode.
And at some point, the ladies here found out just how deep this voice goes. In a world where kitties and Hufflepuff accompany a bear on a live stream. So that'll be good for the country song.
That will be good. But what episode did that deep voice come out in? It was the last one we filmed.
It was actually the very last episode. It was the movie episode.
Yes.
Okay, so after the future of AI, we did Bear's Book Club, where we talked about our favorite books.
I love that episode.
A lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with that. Then we had an episode on spirituality, which pretty much I think put the ladies to sleep.
No. That had me like astral projecting while you were talking about it. I was like, this is absolutely insane. I was going inward. Both of us were just absolutely tripping balls.
And I think that I was more so in shock isn't the right word. I should have looked up a thesaurus, a synonym for this word, but I was just shocked to see that side of you for the first time because I know how important that time in your life was. And so it was just really cool to see even your own personal, I don't know, inside shift during the conversation.
Y'all remember when Amazon pulled out on us, when we had put all this work into creating these courses? And I mean, I had sleepless nights, put all this work into creating these courses for them. And then they said, we're going to can the program. And y'all were really surprised at my response, because my response was, okay, well, we have to just gear up and do something else. And you're like, aren't you pissed? Aren't you going to stomp your feet and throw shit at the walls? And I could get pissed, but really what purpose does that serve? And what I'd like you all to put together is that these experiences that we talked about in my spirituality episode, which got me to the place where I am today, that's why I could deal with that without getting pissed. Because if you'd seen me 30 years ago, I went off pretty easy. Yeah.
So speaking of book club, after we dropped Kurstin off at the airport, we ended up going to a thrift store right over by the airport. And I saw this book and I had to,
I actually bought it?
I actually bought it. I'm going to read it. And then when I'm done reading it, I'm going to give it to you to read. But hang on, I'm glitching. Give me a second here.
Andy Friedman is a big deal in Texas.
Yep.
That's beautiful. I would love to.
Do you want to read it? I'll lend it to you to read. It is titled Guide to Texas Etiquette, or How to Get to Heaven or Hell Without Going Through Dallas-Fort Worth.
Because of
let's look at the cover art of this. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a necessity.
I love it. I love it.
And look at the back. If you don't think this book is funny, you deserve the death penalty.
Which of course is a thing in Texas.
Of course it is. And then I got myself this book has been on my want list for months, because I saw it at a coffee shop on the West Coast that I went to on vacation, and it's so cool. It's artwork.
Why paint cats?
It's titled "Why Paint Cats: The Ethics of Feline Aesthetics." But all of the photos and stuff is people will actually paint their cats, like paint on their cats. And look at, oh, this was Kurstin.
America.
Cats in America cat. But I mean, it's beautiful artwork, and they had it there. I was so excited. Oh, hold on. This one looks like a pig.
Why paint cats in the same spirit as to serve man?
Yes, and then there's a sequel that I also am having my eye out for called Why Cats Paint, and it's painting cats, like cats that paint.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting.
I cannot believe you actually bought that Texas book. You said you were going to do it.
I said I was. Well, I mean, the thing with because we were at Savers, and if you buy 4 books, you get the 5th one for free. Okay. So technically, but yeah, I had it cracked open in there, and I was reading it, and I thought it was interesting.
One of them was free anyway.
Yeah, one of them.
So the next one was the role of government, and this is just all about my philosophy about politics.
Well, not just that; it's about we people.
Well, yeah, and it was very much about the purpose of government, the role of government in our society, what the role of government should be, and what the role of government really was originally intended to be, according to the preamble to the U.S. Constitution, which I recite from memory in the podcast. So that was.
You want to go ahead and give us
do the thing. Do the thing. Do the thing.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. I learned this in like the 6th grade.
Before they kicked you out.
Before they even made the jingle.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think it was before it was written. It's that long ago. And you have to realize that when I was in 6th grade, dinosaurs still ruled the earth.
They ruled the earth.
And all these years later, it's like, I don't know, there's a lot of strange things I memorized back then that still stick with me. Like
that was a core memory that unlocked
a number of complete Fire Sign Theater albums as well. I don't know if you all know who the Fire Sign Theater are, but
no, but I usually just laugh and nod. And then you always call me out on it.
They did comedy albums, but they were like radio shows. They were all scripted and sound effects and everything. They had one called All Hail Marx and Lenin, and it had a picture of Groucho Marx and John Lennon. And on that one, of course, was Nick Danger, Third Eye. Which
yeah, Third Eye is giving that spirituality podcast. I mean, I feel like your third eye is wide open.
Well, I have to protect it. That's why.
Yeah, it's giving the end credits of the last Doctor Strange movie. That's a deep cut. Yep.
I love that about those movies. In order to dramatize spirituality, there has to be a lot of arm movements, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why you want to learn Tai Chi.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I want to, that or go join a Shaolin monastery.
Do you know who went and joined a monastery for I think at least several years toward the end of his life?
Who's this?
Okay, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say his name because I know you're going to know it. He wrote Hallelujah. That's the song that he was most famously known for.
Yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
He passed away a couple of years back.
Oh my God.
Jewish.
Why is his name now slipping my mind?
Slip away.
Yeah.
Leonard Cohen. Okay, that's okay. I'll just tell you.
I just found it just as Leonard Cohen. Yeah, great.
Wore the hats, the fedoras.
Great songwriter. And I did not know that he joined a monastery.
Yes, he did.
I hope it was kosher.
It was. He said that it was outside of his Jewish faith. Like it was just something for himself. It wasn't necessarily like he did for religion.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, it was very, very. It was cool to learn.
That
I've been on
absolutely
that
sounds
mountain.
like something that Bear would do. So just know if I wake up one morning with an email in my inbox that says like fare thee well, we know where he's at. No need to worry.
I've
know
been
where he
upon that
went.
mountain.
Yep.
I've been upon that mountain. Yeah, all right. Oh, we didn't do this one. We did something instead of that one. Oh, so I don't have 8 here. I have just 7.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure we did 8.
I thought for sure we did 8 also.
Yeah,
Wait a second here.
Okay, hold on. The AI one, books, education, the preamble,
I got my whole list here.
movies, spirituality. What's the last one we
3,
did?
4, 5, 6, 7. No, I only see 7. I only see 7. So the last one is the movie club. And we skipped. We were going to do one on Black Lives Matter, but we decided that
we did the gig economy.
Well, the gig economy was before. We did that in the last batch.
It says Tuesday, February 28th. That's what I titled it on my thing, but it was like your 4 publics
Oh yeah,
contract work.
how to run a business.
Oh, that was
How to run a business.
okay. So I just have that one marked wrong. So that is 07 dash. Yes, running a small business. That was the first one that we did. Okay, so that is 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are the 8 that we did in this batch. And the last one, of course, was the movie club.
Oh my gosh.
And we had so much fun with that one.
Can we just name it the Breakfast Club, even though
Oh,
we
genius.
very late at night?
The breakfast for dinner club.
Like ironic.
The breakfast for dinner club.
The Breakfast Club was a good movie.
But
I
none of
can't believe we didn't talk about it. I
Yeah.
really like Molly Ringwald.
Well, what's not to like? She was just adorable.
She was. She
know
still
what?
is. Oh my gosh.
Pardon me?
I said, do you know what I'm surprised that didn't make your list now that we're talking about it? Like the Star Wars movies.
No, he does. They're overrated.
No,
Star Trek is better.
Well, that's true. That is true. The first Star Wars movie, which they retroactively named Episode 4, but it was originally just Star Wars.
How
And
confusing.
then after the fact, they renamed it Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, so that it would fit in with this whole monstrous thing that they created. That was just this serendipitous stroke of genius. It was just, a bunch of things that fell together and created this wonderful, wonderful Saturday matinee thing that was just, just brilliant. And the next one didn't live up to it. The Return of the Jedi was as close as they ever got to that magic again. And then, it just went off the rails. The prequels were barely watchable. And then the final 3 were a little better than that. But, they suffered from the same problem that the Marvel films suffer from. And, no surprise, they're made by the same studio now. But they substitute a lot of flash and a lot of expensive special effects for story.
Don't hate on my Marvel fam.
So the first wave of Marvel movies, the Hulk, Iron Man, the Avengers, that first phase, I think they call them phases now, was absolutely brilliant. And when they went into the second phase, they started getting just really overblown. And then by the time they did the final thing here, I got a whole list of them here. Hang on a second here, because I have watched every single Marvel movie except for the last couple, which just, I couldn't bring myself to go into a movie theater for that. Hang on a second. Where are they here? Oh, there we are. So yeah, I watched, I went back because apparently I had missed out on a cultural touchstone, and I went back and I watched all of them in order.
Yay.
And not in release order, but in story order.
Yes.
And you know, I skipped a few that I'd seen, but
It's a fun marathon to do at least once.
but when we got to which one was it here? Endgame. Was it Endgame? No, it was Infinity War. When we got to Infinity War and they blipped, you know, half of all living things in the universe. And it was supposed to be such a spectacular thing. And the way that they did it was anticlimactic. And the people that they chose to kill, and at that point we assumed they were gone. Obviously they came back. But the people, well, some of them came back, not all of them. The people that they chose to kill were mostly, you know, the ones that they didn't know how to write stories for in the first place. People like T'Challa, who they really had trouble for. What's his name? Samuel Jackson, who they never knew what to do with him. And he was such a brilliant actor and a brilliant character in the comic books, but they just never could figure out what to do with him in the movies.
I figured out a way to make my cat look angry, and this criticism, my cat is
there
angry.
You go. And then when they came back with Captain Marvel and retconned Samuel L. Jackson's character, and I don't know why I can't think of his name, and made him into this bumbling comic relief fool. I mean, I was pretty much done with them there. But I gave him a chance with Endgame, and Endgame was an overblown pile of, yeah. Spider-Man Far From Home was good, but you know, again, it's not really part of the MCU. And the animated Spider-Man that came after that was absolutely brilliant. You know, so they've done a few good things, but yeah, they lost me really with Infinity War.
I told you I don't get heated about politics. I don't get heated about religion.
Yeah.
Then sit there and hate on my Marvel fam.
The
blood is boiling. She's boiling.
I'm sorry. You know, let me know if you need me to find a replacement. I mean,
this is what it looks like when my blood's boiling, by the way. So
well, that's what anything is going on. You know, just always the bright spot of our shows.
Look away. Where's your sunglasses, Ricky?
Snoop Kitty.
Snoop Kitty.
Oh yeah, Snoop Kitty.
Snoop Kitty does make an appearance.
There was one point where because the lights are bright in our studio, Ricky was having a little trouble with her eyes, so she put on some sunglasses and I started calling her Snoop Kitty.
And furthermore, I don't know if you know that she did this, but there's this I don't know, is it a filter or TikTok has this thing that you can do.
Oh, it's their Be Real. It's their equivalent of the Be Real.
Yeah, it's their version of Be Real, which is like somebody will send you something like a Snapchat and you basically have like a minute to respond. And what it'll do, it'll take a picture of like your front camera and your back camera at the same time. And so she took a picture of herself with the sunglasses on and of you and I recording the podcast. And one of my friends screenshotted it and sent it to me.
Can I see it?
Yeah. And she was like, oh my gosh, you just popped up on my For You page. And I was like,
that's so funny. I wonder why my now popped up on her For You page. Hold on, let me show it to you. I'll show it to you. Hang on.
Oh, she changed her name. Now she's Snoop Kitty.
Now I'm Snoop Kitty. Hang on.
Kitty.
Chilling in the hood. Hang on. Here it is.
Oh, you can. Nobody can see that.
Well, hang on.
You can share it on the screen.
I could, but I'm not the host. The sunglasses.
Oh my God. Well, that's brilliant. So you have to send me that.
Of course I will. And because I did that one because the last time that you guys were here, let me go to my archive. The last time you guys were here, I took a different one. let's see. Gosh, I have to scroll all the way back. Okay, here we go. This was on the 1st of December. And I took one of you guys. This is the first time.
Oh, wow.
We'll have a whole montage by the end of this.
Yeah.
I know. I only have two, one from each trip, but I did like it a lot. I retook it a couple times to make sure that both of you guys looked engaged in conversation.
Because that never happens.
Anyways, it just felt cool because I'm like, well, it looks like our stuff's getting traction, and like now my friends are seeing it on their For You page.
Yeah.
So I was really excited about that.
Do you guys have any favorite? Oh, I like that. I like that.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any favorite moments from this week together?
Definitely filming the movies one, but also when we were prepping for it, when we went to go get lunch at that Mexican food place and we were just going back and forth. Have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? Okay, we have to talk about this one. We have to talk about this one.
Yeah.
By the way, Kurstin, the movie I was thinking of when we were having that discussion that started with a W. Remember when you were like,
yes.
Oh, Free Willy? It was Willy Wonka. And I don't know how I didn't remember that when you said Free Willy, but it was Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which I wish we would have brought up.
The original Willy Wonka, of course.
The OG, of course. Yeah. And we should have talked about that one in the books episode too, because that's one of the examples where the book was better than the movie.
Yeah, it's actually, I do like that book a lot.
It was at least better than the second movie. I don't know. The first one was very iconic.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, the second one was iconic for different reasons.
The second one was camp. The second one was like,
second one was pointless. I mean, why remake a perfect film? I don't understand.
For the campiness of it.
Cash in on it. So Gene Wilder, who played Willy Wonka in the original, there's a scene at the beginning where he does he's walking, like he's pretending to be a really, really old man, and he's walking up the up to the factory door, and he like stops, and his cane gets stuck in the stones, and he just slowly starts to tip over. And then he does a barrel roll and gets up on his feet, right? It's this iconic scene. He planned that, and he didn't tell anybody he was going to do it.
Of course.
Oh my gosh. I never knew that. It wasn't scripted.
No, that was not scripted. And
I never knew that.
That's the genius of Gene Wilder. People don't realize some of the funniest movies ever made. Young Frankenstein, he wrote it.
Wow.
That was his idea and his script. And there was a staff of writers on Blazing Saddles, and he was, on the staff, and they were trying to find somebody to play that character. And finally, originally his character in Blazing Saddles was supposed to be played by some other comic actor who they couldn't get insurance on him because he was on drugs at the time. So Gene Wilder played the character, and it was so perfect. It was so perfect. And I love Cleavon Little in that film. It's just that film, that is one of my all-time favorite films, and it really should have been on the list. And the thing is that a list like this with only 10 slots, did I even have a comedy on here? Oh, sure. Some Like It Hot.
Well, that's as comedy as it gets.
Also, Hard Day's Night, and I had an honorable mention of the Blues Brothers. I should have had an honorable mention of Blazing Saddles. The thing with Blazing Saddles, people say you couldn't make that film today, and it is so not true. I don't know. Have these people say, "Oh, everything's so PC today. You can't say this. You can't." I mean, have they even looked at Netflix in the last year? There's so much incredibly offensive stuff on there, and and there's comedy that uses the N-word, and I mean, if anything, it would be easier to make it today than it was back then. There was a lot of theaters that wouldn't show it, and but still, Blazing Saddles is one of my favorite films of all time.
Well, we'll add that to a written honorable mention then in the in the description. Well,
Yeah, that should definitely get an honorable mention in the description.
what was your favorite moment from recording?
No, let's do Kurstin first.
I don't think y'all are gonna like my answer, but
Do that, and we always love it. So just stop.
I loved when we were all like on the brink of delusion and sleep deprived, but like
Yes.
That's
still,
like a week.
well, we were just still so passionate about getting the work done.
Yeah.
But then just kind of that like uninhibited, like devil may care, like we were just cracking up.
Are you talking about the Kuriki ASMR? I should have said that was my favorite.
Everything. And I mean, and Bear's right. I mean, we were absolutely sleep deprived and delusional the entire week for absolutely no reason. I mean, like, we had plenty of opportunity to get rest and we just decided to fart around instead. You know, I really enjoyed my time there, and it was much, much harder leaving this go around than it was the first time. So
Sad.
I was a sad girl on the plane ride home.
Yeah,
so.
but then you get home and you see your kids and you're all
Oh my
happy.
God, they missed me so much. I was like, who are you and what have you done with my children?
Yeah.
She brought them Vegas souvenirs, colorful mystery pills.
Don't say that.
No. They're children.
They're just the little capsules that you put in the bathtub that dissolve.
They become animals or
It's
something.
like a sponge animal.
Oh, how fun.
But they're Vegas themed because they're
Love that. We love that for them.
What an iconic Vegas gift.
Yep, exactly.
I could have brought them home like one of those tokens that we used to play poker with, but then they'd be like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, guys, I'm going to teach you about life and we're going to play a game of poker. Ready?
You can buy poker chips, you know, casino chips. You know, and you can get them like from old hotels that don't exist anymore. I'm trying to see what this one says. I might need my
Weren't you the one that told us about the poker decks? How they punch holes in them and you can like buy them in the gift store? Like after they've gone.
Oh, you mean the used cards?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you could buy them in Vegas Dollar Trees.
They do that with chips too.
Yep.
Ah,
Super cool. It has a hole in it.
cool.
So this is from the Moulin Rouge, which
Vintage.
which is vintage, and it only lasted. I have a whole story about the Moulin Rouge, and actually, you know what? I'd love to do a podcast on the Moulin Rouge.
Okay, well, we will put that on the list.
Yeah,
Are we talking about the musical?
No, the casino.
No, the casino. So
No,
I'm going to tell the story briefly here. In 1950, I want to say 1957, 1958, Las Vegas was still segregated, and Black people couldn't stay at the casinos on the Strip, and they had a whole separate neighborhood north of the railroad tracks called it was called the West Side, and today they call it the historic West Side. And that was where all the Black clubs were, and their clubs were really, really fun. And all of the big name entertainers, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, all these guys, when they were done with doing their shows in the evening on the Strip, they would all go down to the West Side and spend all night just having a blast in the Black clubs because they were just so much more fun. And there's a lot of stories that go with this, you know, which I will tell on the podcast. But some developer got a brilliant idea that he would build a big hotel casino resort in the West Side that would be completely open to Black and white. It would be completely integrated. And it was actually the first integrated hotel casino in the entire country. And they called it the Moulin Rouge. And it was open for 7 months. And it was absolutely over the top successful. It was so successful that it was cutting into the business of the white casinos on the Strip. And rather than just learning from the experience and making their casinos more fun and more open and integrated, the casino owners got together, formed a gaming commission, which exists to this day, and made a law in the middle of the night which prohibited any Black people from being dealers in a casino. And the Moulin Rouge, all of their staff was Black. I mean, they were literally in the Black neighborhood, and part of their charter was to lift up the economy of the West Side and to give these people an opportunity to cash in on the riches that were exclusive to the white people on the Strip. And they passed this law in the middle of the night. They sent the sheriffs in at like 12:01 in the morning, and shut it down, and it never opened up again. And the building was still, parts of the building are still there. It's been an empty lot ever since. Part of it, they tried to make it into a motel at one time. It burned down. The neon sign, there's a neon museum, which some of us call the Neon Graveyard, in downtown Vegas, where you can see the sign, this beautiful neon sign that says Moulin Rouge. And it's an amazing story. And I had started writing a script to make it into a movie, and I think we just need to make it into a podcast.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew that that's how it shut down.
Because there are pieces of that story that are absolutely amazing. I'll tell you one story here, just so you get an idea of how this was. Oh, what was her name? Just a second, I got to look up her name because oh no, it wasn't her. No. Yeah, it was her. Oh no. Really? Come on, I don't know why we can't. Okay, no. I gotta find it here because it's essential to the story.
Do.
Oh man.
Doop.
No, haven't you seen those TikToks?
Here we go. Oh, come on.
You come on.
Oh, she didn't win. She was just nominated.
Humji Doop.
Oh.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
Meow, 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 meow.
Of course is he. Because he said, oh.
Oh, seriously?
Welcome back. The
Oh, here it is. I got it. Dorothy Dandridge. Okay, so Dorothy Dandridge was a big deal back then. And she was a Black woman. She was a singer. She was an entertainer. She was like, tops. And she was very, very popular. She had recently been in a popular film called Carmen Jones, which was it was basically the opera Carmen, but with a Black cast and really modern, up-to-date film music, and it was really fabulous. Anyway, she was booked at one of the big hotels on the Strip, and I don't remember which one. And she refused to perform unless they would also let her stay in one of the rooms at the hotel. And that was against the rules. But she was such a big actress, they made an exception for her. They gave her a room. And when she was done with the room, they incinerated all of the linens. This is how they saw Black people in the 1950s in Las Vegas, Nevada, and really throughout most of the country. There was another famous Black entertainer who somebody pushed him in the pool. He didn't even jump in the pool. Somebody pushed him in the pool. They drained the pool and bleached it. This is this is how they were seen. And so it was a really, really big deal for them to not only have their own hotel casino, but open it up to be completely integrated. White people are welcome, and to have it be a huge success. And the only thing that the white casino owners could do about it was just to pass a law and make it illegal. And that's the history of the Moulin Rouge. And yeah, we need to do a whole podcast episode about this.
I wrote it down on our podcast episode.
Do we have any notes? I mean, do we have any comments? Do we have any viewers?
Not at the moment. No comments. No newer comments besides the one that I read. And we are pushing 45 minutes now. So
do we have viewers?
Yeah, we have viewers.
Okay.
We have Facebook. There was some on YouTube that are no longer there, and there's 2 on Twitch too.
Yeah, okay.
And let me check. And there's some on LinkedIn, but 3 on LinkedIn. Hello.
Yeah. I really enjoyed our poker episode.
Me too.
I
think that has more retroactive views.
Yeah, it's had a lot of views since then. And you know, I had a lot of fun.
Me too. I mean, I don't know if we're allowed to live stream in an actual casino. So that was definitely probably not. No, but that was definitely a close second.
They do live stream poker games from casinos, but they set them apart from the rest. Put them in a little room by themselves with a bunch of cameras. I think there's privacy issues. Yeah. I took some pictures today in the casino that I went to play poker at.
Did the mafia look at you sideways for that one?
Pardon?
I said, did the mafia look at you sideways for that one?
Well, I was pretty discreet about it. And, I don't know, people do take pictures. They don't stop you, but you got to be kind of discreet about it. This was Resorts World, which is a fairly new casino here in Vegas. I think it was open like after the pandemic.
It was last year.
Yeah. And I remember when they first opened, I went down and saw their poker room, and it was a nice room, but there weren't any people. There was like the first day they were open. And I hadn't been back until today, and it was just cooking, and I really enjoyed it. I will definitely be back. But I posted some pictures. I don't know if I put a bunch of pictures on LinkedIn. I put some. I know I posted something on LinkedIn about it. Oh no, just a picture of my chips. I didn't post the pictures of the poker room. On my Facebook, on my personal Facebook, I posted pictures of the poker room. If anybody's interested in seeing the pictures of the poker room, let me know, and I'll post them on LinkedIn or wherever it is that you are.
Resorts World is just one giant billboard, basically, from the outside. It's crazy. You can see it from Henderson.
Yeah. For a long time, I used to call it Win West.
Oh. The lawsuit?
Well, because when they were building it, initially they used the same shape and color scheme and everything of the Wynn hotels, and Wynn threatened to sue them, and that's why they changed the color scheme. Now it's redder, and but the architecture, the shape of the buildings is, I mean, it could just be Wynn West.
Yeah.
They got that big video wall on the side of it, and it is. I'm amazed that they're allowed to do that with the freeway right there.
Yeah, it's definitely a distraction coming in at night.
Yeah, yeah, but all of Vegas is. I mean, Vegas is lights. That's and I mean, at least all of the Strip is. People call it Vegas. It's not Vegas.
No, it's paradise.
It's Paradise, Nevada. The Las Vegas Strip is its own city, which again, this dates back to the 50s, and that whole thing that started with the Moulin Rouge. The Gaming Commission decided that they wanted to have their own rules and laws, and so they set up their own city. And the management of the city is managed by the board of directors of the casinos, and it's very much like they did in Florida for Walt Disney World. And it works, but the name of that city is Paradise, Nevada. And I love that, the mayor of Las Vegas, Carolyn something Goodwin or something, I forget her name. I don't live in the city of Las Vegas either. I live in unincorporated Las Vegas. which I think is my area is technically part of Spring Valley. But yeah, Goodwin, I think her name is Carolyn something. Anyway, I think whenever she does a press conference, she always goes down to the Strip and does her press conference like in front of one of the hotels.
That's not your jurisdiction.
As if that was her. Oh, do we have another comment?
Yes, we do.
I love the hand. Y'all can't see it, but there's like a little emoji of a hand that Ricky puts up. Snoop Kitty.
Yes. They might be able to see it. Actually, no, I'm not sure. But we have one more LinkedIn comment, and then we should probably wrap it up because it's bedtime for one of us.
It is for me. Then
it's bedtime for all three of us.
I gotta get up in the morning and drive.
Yep. Nothing like having that morning drive.
Yeah, I enjoy
it. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. No, not familiar with The Rock? Okay, our comment is from Ali Uger A. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced that middle name there. But Ali says hello. So we say hello and good night.
So is this what
LinkedIn?
Ali on LinkedIn. Okay. What's the last name?
Ali Uger A.
Okay, I don't know. Is it somebody that I know?
I don't believe so.
Okay, well, hello anyway, Ali.
You know them now.
I know them now. Yeah. Thank you, all of you. We love you. And thank you to my wonderful staff. And we'll see you on Friday. I'll be at a baseball game in Arizona. I love to go to spring training games.
Diablo Field? Or is it pronounced Diablo?
Pardon? Diablo
or Diablo? The AAA field.
Oh no, it's Camelback Ranch.
Oh, Camelback Ranch. Okay, yeah. There's two of them.
This is there's a number of them in Arizona. And this is a spring training facility. It's not really a AAA facility.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
This is really just for spring training, and it's shared by the Dodgers and the White Sox. And yes. I'll be going to
Diablo's Angels then, I'm wrong.
Yeah, that could be. I'll be going to a let me see who the Dodgers are playing against. I mean, it's a spring training game. And so it's it's an exhibition game essentially. And so the Dodgers are playing the Mariners.
Ooh, Seattle.
The Dodgers are the home team. Even though they move around between the stadiums, the home team isn't always the home team. It's like however the schedule works out, because these are exhibition games and they're about training. There's been a lot of injuries this spring. I don't know what's up with that, but it looks like the Dodgers have a good team this year. You know, I grew up in Los Angeles, a lifelong Dodger fan. My dad used to take me to games when I was a little kid. Saw Sandy Koufax pitch and Don Drysdale and all those guys.
We have a Facebook comment real quick before we go.
Sure.
From a Ryan Gordy, who I'm assuming you know.
Yeah.
Hey, he says he might go to that game, Bear. He'll reach out. And he also says good night.
Oh, he says he's going to be at that game?
He might go to that game, but he will reach out.
Yeah, please message me on Facebook and I'll be there with Andrew Sanders. I don't know if you know Andrew. He's also in our Dodgers group. And Andrew and I go way back, and we go to these games every year because Andrew lives in Phoenix. I used to live in Phoenix or in Scottsdale. And so we've been going to these games together for years. In any event, love you all. Thank you. And we'll see you on Friday.